Okay, ladies. Yes, I'm definitely going to have to troubleshoot that link. I think some of them either, some of the links needed a passcode. But I thank you all for joining. And while I have you all on, if you don't mind just sharing a short testimony, ideally with your video, just saying how how it's been working with me over the years. If there's anything specific that stands out to you, then you can share this. So this was a free masterclass for for women who want to create different streams of income. So just keep that in mind. But I'm, well, it's already been recorded, and once I troubleshoot what went wrong today, I'll be able to just add that video in the next go around. I see Miss T, she ready. I was gonna say who wants to go first, but Miss T is definitely ready. So you have the floor, Miss T.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am in the beautiful city of St. Petersburg, Florida. It's an honor to be here. I am author Tanisha LaFloyd. I am a mentee of Miss Beautiful Beige. I have known her close to almost 15 years now. And I must tell you, it is an honor and such a pleasure to know this beautiful soul. I have published 3 books under her tutelage and coaching. And I tell you, she has been phenomenal. I am a now Army veteran, and I served almost 11 years. And I first heard of Beige. I just left the military, and she was on the radio being interviewed about her book, A Gold Digger's Guide. And I was like, wow, the title. Oh, wow. So I ran out and got the book, not knowing that manifestation and positive energy, I would meet this beautiful person and become a lifelong sister. I got to meet her by chance, like years later, and it has been amazing. Her coaching, her mentorship, her friendship, her love. What a beautiful soul. She's always stayed on me and like, when are you going to write your book? When are you going to do what you said you're going to do and follow your dreams? And I had been working in that rat race. I prayed about a job. She encouraged me, and I worked in the job, but I knew there was more to life, and I couldn't spend time with my son the way I wanted to. And I worked all that way up and realized I wasn't even getting the pay. I was a senior systems engineer, 5 Microsoft certs, and was not getting the pay that the men were making. And I said, there's got to be more to this. There's got to be a better life. I want to be there with my son. I'm currently at my son's football games right now. And this wouldn't have been happening 5 years ago. And I got to tell you, with her coaching, her mentorship, I've been able to buy my first home, a beautiful home in Florida. Okay. Dreams do come true. I have written the books, and I'm now currently writing my memoir, which will be book 4. I am so blessed, so thankful, just so grateful. Beige, you are amazing. I love you. Thank you for your coaching. Thank you for your mentorship, your friendship. You have changed my whole life. If someone had told me 5 years ago I'd be a published author, speaker, running my own businesses, being an entrepreneur, I'd be like, yeah, right. I am doing it. I am living it, and I am loving it. And I'm on my way to the top. The bottom's too crowded. And trust me, you will not regret having her as your mentor and leader. I'm telling you now, I am so grateful.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Miss T, and thank you for being coachable over these years. That part, okay? You
And
actually
listening,
implemented the stuff. And I had the opportunity to lay eyes on your home, and I'm like, look at this girl. Well, look at this woman. So
amazing.
it definitely is fulfilling to know my work doesn't go in vain when people actually implement what I teach and they actually listen. So thank you so very much.
Yes, yes.
And Miss
I
Tyne,
love
I
you.
see you out there. Are you in a position to speak?
I am. If my I'm gonna say if my video would like to come on. Hey Miss Page.
Hello there.
So I met you in person about 6 years ago, and there was just something that was very different about you from all the other people in the group that we were in, and I didn't have a lot of direction. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do in life. I knew that I had big dreams and there were things that I wanted to do, but I had no idea how to do them or if they were even accomplishable because we have 5 kids, one of them's handicapped. And that just seemed like a lot of barriers, and I didn't see a lot of opportunity. I saw a lot of barriers. But in the past 6 years, I have started the business. You One of the things about you that's very different, everyone wants to be a life coach. Everyone is trying to help people now, but you're the only one that I have ever seen that has proof of concept, that has the background and the history. You can Google search and see that you've actually done the work. And I don't believe you can lead someone where you haven't been. And I believe you've been there 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times over, and you're leading other people there. One of the other things that is fascinating about you is that you are reachable. Like if I message you, no matter where you are in the world, you will message me back. That is who else is in Dubai messaging saying, "Hey, what's up?" While, we're in different time zones, different parts of the world, but you make time for the people that make time for themselves. And you teach and you show and you lead by example. And also, when you got on that call with our church to kind of give information and say, "Hey, these are the things you need to do. Here are some tips." You give the information, and if people listen, they go far. And it's valuable information. It's not just like the random stuff that somebody can Google. It's stuff that you've cultivated over the years from making the mistakes and having the successes and knowing what does and doesn't work and changing with the times, because sometimes the information is stale from other people, but you're always current. It's always useful. And I am so grateful for that, because what worked 10 years ago may not work now, and you stay up on what's currently working, what people currently need, how you need to adjust, how you need to shift. And that to me, more than the motivation, more than the encouragement, having updated information is priceless. And the other thing is the consistency of you as a person, the consistency of your loving and your kindness, your willingness to help, and not, you know, what do I want to say? How do I want to say that? Not looking for something in return. Like, hey, I'm giving this. You can join me, but I'll give you information and I'll help you. And I'm not going to take it personally if you don't take my information, but I'm going to give it because I want to see somebody succeed. So many people don't really want to see people succeed. They just want what you can do for them. So that makes you, to me, that makes you different automatically, because you actually want to see people succeed. You want to see them do better. You want to see them come up. You want to see them change the trajectory of their families. So all of that to me made you stand out and extremely different from all the other people who are claiming to be life coaches, but there's no proof that they've had life yet. So that to me made you extremely different. And to put me and my family, you helped me and my husband get our businesses started and the funding and all of that stuff. And we are still going strong. The businesses are still up and running. I know most businesses fail. Ours have been up for 4 years and is still going. So just a testament to what you can do when you're coachable and when you listen and you do the work.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Miss Tina. And that is amazing that you and your husband actually implemented the things with the funding and started the business, and you're scaling the business 4 years later. I am so glad to have you as a mentee because once again, it's so fulfilling. And I know I'm not doing this work in vain. It's something I was called to, and I'm like, I may speak to 1,000 people if one person actually does what I teach, then to me, that's totally worth it. And I'm so glad I was muted out when you said the life coaches that haven't experienced life, but it's so true. It is so true. And I've been blessed to made a lot of mistakes when I was super young, and that is what really doubled my experience and allowed me to have a global reach, really, So thank you for showing up, not only today, but over the past years and actually implementing all the things that I teach, especially at the retreat. So thank you, Miss Tina.
So if you want to add this video, I'm going to turn my video back on because that's the one thing I wanted to speak to and I forgot.
Hmm.
One of the other really big things is I was just a one of five from Louisiana, Southern Louisiana, um, a town called Port Barry that if you go back, you know what poverty is. The houses are shacks and everything else. And a lot of times when people say we're going to do a business meeting, it's in a conference room with chairs, but you did something very different. You put us in a whole different environment where I'm in a house. I am in like a villa in Florida with a pool and a private chef. You introduce people to bigger so that they can dream bigger because this is something I couldn't have imagined. You have business meetings, the tea party, oh my goodness, dressed in Victorian, where people were coming up to us asking us if we were movie stars. You expose people to something that they couldn't imagine. I mean, some people come from families that do big things. I wasn't one of them. I came from a trailer with a hole in the floor. And to be exposed to trips to the Dominican Republic, where that's where you're having a retreat at to talk about business and self empowerment. Who else is doing that? So I just having yacht trips, things that you couldn't have ever thought about. And it's like blowing your mind like, wait a minute. Am I being invited to a yacht? This is something you see on TV. I grew up watching Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous and never imagined that some of the things and some of the places, a private chef, are you kidding me? That food was amazing. Starting our morning with yoga, you just do things differently, you move differently. And so we get different results, but you introduce people to a life they couldn't even have thought about or imagined. And that is huge to me.
That hit home. Thanks. That definitely hit home because I feel like the best way you can help people is by inspiring them, not lowering to their frequency to give them a hand out, but keep climbing and invite them in the doors. The doors aren't always going to be free, but that is exactly what will allow them to stretch. That's exactly what will allow them to actually figure out how they need to get in those rooms. But it's my job as a vessel to at least extend the invitation. Thank you so much for sharing that, Miss Tina. And I know Miss Dana Kay said she was listening in today. I don't think she is in a position to speak, but she's one of my ladies as well, and one of the current ladies I'm coaching. And her book is everything. I'll let her talk about that whenever she's ready. That's her gift to the world. But all I can say is it's amazing, and it's been an honor to help her complete it and bring it to the world. So I'm excited for all y'all to meet Dana one of these days. And I see Miss Mimi just joined. If you can hear us, saw her a minute ago. And Miss Demi is on here as well. If you'd like to share for just a minute. So Miss Demi can go and then Miss Mimi can go. Just your experience in working with me. I would say for sure in the landlord department. You can unmute Miss Demi.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Demi. Um, Miss Page has been mentoring me I would say over 15 years now. Most recently, she helped me with one of my biggest streams of passive income, which was obtaining my first rental property and getting a passive stream of income through through rental income. So, going through that process with Miss Page, it was honestly life-changing because it was something that I had never been through before, an experience I've never went through before. So when you're taking a risk on yourself and investing in yourself, it can be intimidating, but and you can have a lot of fear about if you're going to be successful. But working with Miss Page, she always has that mentality that you can really achieve anything that you put your mind to. So anytime I went through any roadblocks during the process of obtaining my first rental property and getting my first tenant and generating that income, Miss Beige was there for me during the whole process. Any questions that I had, she was there to help me answer. I remember at the time there was one issue that I had making sure that I was picking the right tenant, and Miss Beige also helped me with that. And even up to this day, I still have the same tenant that Miss Beige helped me pick, and it was one of the best tenants I've ever had, and I've she's been renting from me for over 6 years now. So that was one of the experiences that I've had working with Miss Page on getting that stream of passive income. So I was just extremely grateful to have her as a coach and a mentor throughout that process. And we're currently working on getting some more streams up and running for me. So that's definitely something I'm excited about and something that I'm looking forward to in the future.
Let's go, Demi. Thank you so much for sharing that. And for those of you who don't know, Demi is my niece. So you hear her hesitate and saying Miss Page because she really want to say auntie. But Demi is my niece, and thank God she has been coachable. You guys have to open the doors for your family. They're not always going to walk in, but it's your job to open the doors for them. If you are on this webinar, then you're the chosen one. A lot of times it's just one person in the family, at first they're the black sheep until they're the hero and the shero if they keep going. So you can't stop. And a lot of times your family for sure needs to see proof before they start listening to you. So in the beginning, it's gonna be a little lonely road and it may even hurt for you to be making the sacrifices for the ones that you love, and it's the ones that you love who are like second guessing you and things like that. So in the beginning it will be the toughest part, but it will be so rewarding when your family members actually get it. When multiple of you have multi families, like think about that. Think about what the family reunions is going to be like. So plant the seeds, water the seeds, because you never know who in your family is actually gonna start sprouting. So I'm super proud of Demi. I'm super proud that you are a landlord. Okay. That you are a landlord. And what I love about this story is that one property is not even in the same city that she is in. So a lot of times people say, well, property is more affordable in other states, not my state. You do not have to be there. You can hire a property manager, give them a percentage of the monthly income, and you can keep duplicating that. So thank you for sharing that story, Demi, and I'm super proud of you for being a landlord for 6 years. Not only that, having the same tenant because you listened. And I remember in the beginning, there were multiple people who put in the application for that home, and some even wanted to pay more monthly, but I'm like, no, Demi, like, except this one because her rental history. She stays at her places for long periods of time. She's not somebody who's just moving from home to home every year, every 2 years. And there were other people who wanted to pay more, but it was they were working a 9 to 5. Let me just put it out there. They were working a regular 9 to 5, and if their income stopped, then you would have a hard time evicting them. So I told her to go through the Section 8 route. I've been using Section 8 for years, and a lot of people frown upon Section 8, and they're gonna leave holes in your wall, and they're not gonna take care of your place. Not if you screen them properly. So I'm super proud of you, Demi. 6 years in, let's go. I see Miss Mimi on the line. Do you have something to chime in with, darling? I just unmuted you if you can speak.
Can you see me?
I cannot see you yet, Miss AI Queen.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. My name is Misha York. And speaking of multifamilies, I have a background in property management. I have a background in property management. So I find it interesting that the conversation segued in this direction. Um, okay. Oh, by the way, um, I would love to sign up for that opportunity, the opportunity where you show Demi how to be a landlord, especially in another city state. That is definitely something on my to-do list. Okay, so how long have I known Beige? I have known Beige over 5 years now. Yeah, this year makes it over 5. This year makes it 5 years now, actually. And I was introduced through Beige to her book that caught a lot of people's attention, and especially my attention. You know, how to get what you want without giving it up. Gold Digger's Guide. And um, when I had the opportunity to meet, like after reading that book, you know, I followed her on social media, and then I had the opportunity to meet her, and of course, I jumped on it. And through that opportunity, whew, I'm walking. Let me slow down. Through that opportunity, I was able to start learning trading, and just brushing up my skills in financial literacy, but not just brushing up my skills, like literally learning, because a lot of things I had no idea before of. We don't get taught these things in school. Whoops. Yeah. So I wanted to say I am so thankful for Miss Vade. She's left an incredible impact on my life. She's one of the few people that um that's voice still rings into my head to this day, even if I haven't spoken to her in months. Like her voice will say something like, if you have a feeling that you need to do something, create something, you need to do it. You need to finish it. You need to see it through. You need to carry it through. And so I launched a book earlier this month. It's entitled, let me stop because I'm breathing really heavy.
Get those steps in, honey.
I launched a book called The 10 Commandments of AI and Property Management. And of course, Paige was one of the people that inspired me to do the book. Um, and it really stemmed from the being in the experience of the day-to-day property manager, and how a lot of the processes and just daily operations are still so manual in a day and age when it doesn't have to be. So I broke down, 10 practical and evidence-based uh, rules of how we can, move, how we can move processes, operations to the next level, so that AI can support us and not be and so how oh goodness. So AI can support us, and we don't have to be so overwhelmed and overworked at work, staying home, staying at work late hours in the evening and all that stuff. We don't have to do that anymore. So I'm just grateful for that. And I'm grateful for Miss Sage for being an influence in my life to get that done.
Thank you for sharing that, Miss Mimi. Thank you so much for sharing that. And when I pour into people, women in particular, I never know who is gonna run with it. But to see Miss Mimi exploring AI and sending me the links like, hey, Miss Page, have you heard of this? Do you know you can pre-schedule your chats? And I'm like, okay, okay. So it's amazing to see my women like helping me through things now. So I love y'all for that. I know Miss T is well versed in AI as well. Awesome, awesome. I see a few new faces in the chat. If you can you just drop your name in the chat so I can know who I am talking to? I see Miss
Thank
Bird
you.
on as well. And if you guys want to put your cameras on, that would be super great because I feed off energy, like I need to know y'all not falling asleep on me, things of that nature. So I just want to share this short video and we're gonna get into it. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. And at the end of the session, I'll address those questions. And here we go. Can you all still hear me?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, what I'm talking about today is how my next level mentorship program can help women create different streams of passive income without quitting their 9 to 5 prematurely, spending hours or thousands upfront, or wasting time trying to figure it out alone. But I want to share this short video. So, for those of you who are on this call for the first time, it kind of gives you some insight on me, how I think, and what I'm all about.
I am not a stranger to the dark. Ready to go see mom. I am not a stranger to the dark. Ready to go see mom. Broken parts. I learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away. They say no one will love you as you are. But them down. I know that there's a place for us.
Mommy's going to LA for a little while. But say bye bye, mommy. I'll be back.
Pat me down. I'm gonna steal the blood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. With here I go. Marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me.
Always wanted to come to Hawaii.
Wanna put me down.
I just closed on. Was the video frozen the whole time for y'all? Or were you able to see or hear any of it?
The video was definitely frozen.
It was.
Yeah, it froze the first 5 minutes.
Yes, it's frozen.
All right. Did you hear any of it at all or no?
Like the first 30 seconds.
Okay, let me just share the presentation slide. Cool, I've seen a few more people join. Thank you for joining, and let me start sharing these slides. 1 second. Okay, are you all able to see the slides now and hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
You need to make it full screen. You see in like the Canva. Okay. All right, let's get into it. If you can't hear me for any reason or there's any glitches, feel free to unmute and just let me know. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time, I am Miss Paige Fletcher. I'm a best-selling author and a life coach. I've been featured on Dr. Phil, on True TV, The Breakfast Club, on Bravo's Millionaire Matchmaker. I'm also the founder of the Goal Group, which is a financial empowerment company where I teach people how to really become financially free. You know, I've been blessed to not have worked a 9 to 5 in over 20 years. I don't take that lightly. To date, I've traveled to over 40 countries, and I'm just passionate about teaching others how to break that generational curse of, really just living in mediocrity and somewhat poverty, and just let people know that they actually have the power to design their lives. It may not happen overnight. It may not happen as quick as you want to, but it's definitely possible. And I've learned a lot throughout my journey, and that's some of the things I want to share on how I went from working for money to building passive income streams that work for me. So I would say I live a pretty amazing life. And I say that humbly, because I definitely came from humble beginnings. The life I live today did not happen by accident. It was so strategic. I was so focused. I wrote down all my goals. I created goal boards. I kept my vision in front of me. I affirmed over my life every day. I prayed about my journey, but I just always had a feeling like it's more to life than the life I'm living today. And I didn't care what I had to do. I said, you know what? I have to figure it out. So traveling was one of the things that I wanted to do. And at first it was scary, especially being a solo traveler, because I've been to about 40 countries, 43, and half of those were by myself. And for a woman like me who was afraid, I mean, terrified of flying, so for you all to see these postcard looking pictures all over the world, I had to have a paradigm shift within myself. This is on top of a volcano in Costa Rica. I really had to have a paradigm shift inside of myself to turn things around in my head and really ask myself, what are you living for? What do you want to do? And how can you get to the other side of that if you're terrified of even going on a plane? So a lot of times we know what to do, but it's ourselves blocking us. A lot of times the steps are really simple, but it's our internal wiring that we first have to break down. I can tell you what to do. I can put you in the right rooms today, but if you're not the right person in the right rooms, then you're just going to lose the opportunity. So I just wanted to show you guys some of the shots, some of the places I've been to, and I don't know what your goal may be. Maybe you don't like flying. Maybe you're a homebody. Maybe you don't want to leave your city, but maybe you do. And if you are, and if you do, then I have a whole lot of insight for you on just breaking the limitations off of your life. So once again, I said my life didn't start this way. I remember humble beginnings, being born in Brooklyn, New York, and that I almost dated myself right there. But in one of those years when crime and crack was at its highest, and my parents was like, they can't raise me here. They literally sent me to Jamaica to live with extended family. This is actually one of the times I went to Jamaica, see me with my reggae dreads on. Yeah, so they sent me to Jamaica to live with extended family because it was safer out there. Even though we didn't always have running water and sometimes the light went out and we had to burn kerosene oil lamps, it was still safer than Brooklyn, New York, where my siblings were getting shot, where siblings were getting arrested, and it was just crazy. So I remember starting there. And I remember just having this feeling like it's more to life than this. Like I used to watch TV at the time. I saw people playing golf and taking trips and driving nice and living in nice houses. And I'm like, they know something that I don't know. One thing I knew for sure is that the people in my community could not help me because we were all in the same boat. So it didn't make sense for me to ask them, what should I do? What do you think? What degree should I major in? Like they didn't know. They say if you don't want to switch your lifestyle for somebody else's, then don't ask them questions about where you should be. And they may mean the best and have your best interest at heart, but people can't teach you what they don't know. So I got tired of just living paycheck to paycheck, working two jobs. I mean, I was a janitor. That's where I started off when I was like 15. I was like a janitor. I remember doing customer service calls. I remember doing sales for Sprint, for Adelphia Cable. I remember selling cinnamon glazed nuts. Anybody? Cinnamon glazed nuts in in the arenas, for games. I had so many odd jobs. And one day it hit me. I was like, no matter how much I work, like I'll never have enough to be free. And it just hit me. It hit me different. I remember one of my friends telling me, I remember his exact words till today. He said, "Don't be one of those super smart people who end up broke all your life." And that one really hit me because I remember always having these ideas and writing them down on napkins when we go out so I don't lose them and put them in my phone and always have some good ideas, but never really implemented anything from concept to completion. It was just a bunch of unfinished ideas. So when he said that to me, it shifted my whole spirit. I was like, I got to do something differently. I got to find a way out of this rat race. So even without knowing you, I know that I understand you. If this webinar found you, you took time today, you could have been doing anything, but you're actually here. It's because you have that same desire that I had years ago to just become free. Maybe you're working a 9 to 5 and making good money, your bills are covered, but you still know it's something else, it's something missing. And you probably did the calculations and you're like, this is not going to allow me to live the type of life that I want to live. If you were like me, you probably read books. You see this bookshelf behind me earlier. So you probably read a lot of books, went to conventions and workshops and masterminds, and you have this desire, but you don't have an actual blueprint to finish one thing. So you're in the right place. I remember another day when I had a shift. It was when I was 19 years old, and I got the call that my mom passed away from breast cancer. And when I said that shook me to my core. And in a weird way, it was one of the worst things and the best things that happened to me because it really showed me how life is so fragile and how everything can turn in one day. She had just turned 60 at the time that was the age of retirement, and she was so excited. And she didn't even have the opportunity to enjoy retirement. So when people ask me, Paige, how do you just get up and go? You just book a flight. I'm like, honey, like you never know when you get some bad news. When a doctor tell you diagnosed with this, you diagnosed with that. It's like you have life now. Like you'll figure out the other stuff. You'll figure out the bills. They come every 30 days. What are you going to do until it's time for you no longer be here? Are you going to live or are you just going to wither away until it's time to die? And from the moment my mom passed away, it's like most things never scared me because I saw how it ended at the end. So I was willing to bet on myself over and over. I was willing to take the shot all the time. So that I would say was the how it changed me to really become a go-getter because you couldn't you couldn't scare me. Like I seen the worst. So I'm willing to take the shot. I'm willing to bet on me. And I remember I remember a day in particular when I wrote down this day on the calendar because it was just something in my spirit said, you need to get from around this neighborhood. You need to go to where you see people doing things and living the type of life that you want. And in my head, I used to watch TV at the time. So I used to think, oh, Los Angeles, California, Hollywood, that's where everybody who has money is at. That's where all the wealthy people at and the people who are financially free. So I put it on the calendar and I said, when this day come, I'm going to drive from Orlando, Florida, where I was living at the time, to Los Angeles, California. And I talked to two of my girlfriends, and they said they were going to come, and I saved up my $500. To me, that was a lot of money at at the time. I saved up $500, and when it was time to leave that day, they said, "Paige, are you sure you want to do this? Because that's a long drive. That's like a 3-day drive. What if something happens? What if the car break down?" I didn't care. Like I was like, I know what's gonna happen if I stay in this neighborhood. So I was willing to take the risk to see what would happen if I gave my dream a shot. So they didn't come with me. I had $500 to make it happen. 300 of that I had to use for gas. So I only had $200 in California where I didn't even know. That was my first time going to California. I knew one person there that said, if you make it here, you can sleep on the couch. And that's what I did for a while. And I made the hardest decision of my life that day because at 21 years old, I had my daughter, and I made a decision to leave her with her family that day to make a better life for her. It wasn't always easy. Like those few years I was gone, I heard, like you're a deadbeat mom. Like, it was a rough period trying to figure out how to make a better life for me, how to make a better life for her. Like I was modeling and acting at the time. So yes, I was making money here, but every 3 weeks I had to fly back to Orlando to spend some time with her to hope that she doesn't forget me. So success requires sacrifice. It's not always an easy road, but you got to start. You got to start. You know how it's going to end up if you stay in the same spot doing the same thing. So it's time to take a chance. But it really changed me having a daughter because now it wasn't only me. I know I had to take care of her as well. So today I'm going to talk about this program that I built out because I wish that I had this program when I just started. I wish I could hop on a Zoom once a month and actually have access to somebody who had decades of experience in the realms and the sectors that I wanted. Like I didn't have it back then. It was trial and error, meeting one mentor here, one mentor there, and it was pretty scattered. But I want to teach you guys about this program that I built out. But before we begin, some of the things I'm sharing, I've never shared before. So, just come with an open mind, have your notebook, put your camera on if you can, and be prepared to ask questions. That's what I am here for. They said 73% of women say they want financial freedom and time to live life on their terms, but only 27% actually take action to create that passive income. And today you'll learn what myself and the other 20% or 27% have done differently. So once again, this works best when you take notes and ask questions. I'm not just talking to myself here. I'm doing this for y'all. So I need to make sure like things are resonated with you all. And if you have any questions, I am here. So true or false, I don't want this like if one question. So true or false, I don't want to just depend on one job for income. If that's you, you can type a true in the chat box. I'll wait. I need to know who I'm talking to. I need to know y'all not falling asleep on me. If the answer is true, then you're in the right place. All right, let's go. Let's go. All right, and I want you to imagine, just close your eyes. I know it is kind of cheesy. It works, okay? When I said imagining is one of the most powerful things that you can do, that's one of the main things that really brings your vision to you, and it works. So close your eyes and just imagine how it would feel if you woke up tomorrow without an alarm clock and you checked your phone or your laptop and you see money hit in your account while you sleep. Just let that sink in for a few seconds. Because I remember the first time it happened to me, I was like blown because the only way I knew how to make money was to work for it. It's not until I read Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, when he said working is the worst way to make money, it flipped my world upside and down. I'm like, what do you mean it's the worst way? It's the only way. How else do you make money? You go to work and you get it. So when I started seeing, messages come to my phone, you got to sell, you got to sell. And I was in bed, I was traveling. I was like, oh my God, this is real. So today I'm gonna talk to you about some of those streams and actual streams, not just theory, not just fluff, but I'm gonna show you some of my actual streams. And some of you were on from earlier, so you actually got to hear a lot of the live testimonies from the women I work with, but this is just one of them. Miss Deanne has worked with me for years, and I remember when she said she wanted to step away from the 9 to 5 and become an entrepreneur, and she worked with me for a good 4 years or so, and she made that dream possible. She was able to shadow me and hear my conversations, come with me to the meetings. So it wasn't like a textbook type of mentorship. She actually had the hands-on experience. So, what you don't need is years of trial and error trying to figure this out on your own. You don't have to quit your job before you're ready to. You don't need thousands of dollars up front. You don't need a business degree or tech skills. You don't have to be perfect of figuring everything out. And you don't have to choose between your security and your freedom. Listen, if someone asked me how I did it, I just did it cold turkey. Once I got fired, because I didn't even quit. I got fired from Sprint when I was pregnant. That was a low one, okay? So from that, I made a vow that I was not gonna go back to a 9 to 5. I didn't know how I was gonna do it, but look at God, 20 years later, and I've really been living my dream life. So you don't have to stop your job cold turkey because I know that's not reasonable for most people and it's really not rational. So I designed this program where you can build streams while you are really while you're really like living your life and working at your regular job for now. So my new way is the next level system. So one, it gives you clarity. Two, it gives you a blueprint and it gives you accountability. This is Ada. And yeah, Ada is French, so she's actually from France, and I coached her for a while, and we actually took a trip to Santorini, Greece together. That was one of her dream destinations, but she was afraid to go by herself, and I coached her through it, and she actually met me in Santorini, so that was awesome. So this webinar is designed for women who make good money but want time freedom. If you are a man on this call, I'm not going to turn you away, but I do say the word ladies a lot, okay? So it's for women who've been reading books, self-help books, buying courses, researching things on YouTube, going to workshops, but you still feel stuck in that learning phase. This is for women who are ready to take action and need a clear blueprint with accountability, and women who value mentorship from somebody who's actually done it. So I would say what makes this program different, it's not just another course that you watch alone. This is actually live monthly coaching. And when I say I don't show up live, I do not show up live. I haven't had to for quite a long time. So for me to show up live and for you all to be able to find me in one place at a certain time on a certain day, that is beyond rare. Because once again, I live my life through passive income. So this will be one of my semi-active streams, but I'm doing it because it's something that it really resonates with me and I'm purpose driven and I just feel like I was called to help people to get out of the rat race. So that's why I am doing it. I haven't seen another program like it. If y'all have, let me know. Let me know. But I've seen programs where it's maybe a 12-month cohort or a 12-month process or a 6-month process, but what happens after that, you know? What happens after that? So this is ongoing, it's live, and you'll have myself and other experts in different areas. Yes, I've had multiple streams, but there are other streams as well that I haven't delved into, and we'll be able to delve into those together in real time and have actual experts on with us. And you guys will actually get to talk to me live. It's so many Zooms and calls out there where you kind of get lost. And at this point, it's still an intimate feel. You won't be drowned out. Not now anyway, if you're one of the first ones. So not now anyway. So it's not like a Zoom where you can't even ask a question in the chat where you get stuck and you don't have anybody to answer that question for you. So I'll break down my blueprint and share some of my actual streams. And there's so many testimonies.
Hi, my
I don't
name is
want to overwhelm
Erica.
you all with
So I
testimonies,
decided
but
to
it
come
was
out
just,
because I
you
really
guys heard
wanted
some
something
earlier.
different.
Cool.
And I'm
All right. So why this works, I have over 20 years of live of lived teaching experience. So over 20 years of lived speaking. I'm getting tongue-tied. So over 20 years of lived actual experience. And Tina mentioned that earlier, where she said it's a lot of life coaches out here who haven't really lived much life, but I've been well versed in, areas of raising a whole child to adulthood. I've been married. I've been all around the world. I run businesses. I have my nonprofits. I have over 7 streams of income and 20 years financially free. So I would say I'm, well versed. My aha moment when I told you guys when I, woke up and saw sales, sales, sales without me actually having to work, it was from my first stream of income. All right, so the first stream of income, remember I told you guys about the story where I said I was gonna drive to LA. So I actually drove to LA by myself, and after a while of being in LA, I went into a bookstore and I met a man, and he asked me, why did I come to LA? And I told him, for modeling and acting. And he said, sweetie, you're gorgeous and I'm sure you're talented, but have you ever thought about anything else as a backup plan? Because thousands of women come here for the same thing. Have you ever thought about writing, maybe movies or scripts or books? And I remember the idea of a book that I had in my head. It was a dating book. I called it A Gold Digger's Guide: How to Get What You Want Without Giving It Up. And I cleverly scratched out the GOLD, turned it to GOAL. So when I told him, yeah, I thought about writing a book, I didn't want to tell him the title of it because I thought he was just going to dismiss it. I told it to him and he said, sweetie, it's going to be a bestseller. He encouraged me to write that book. He was on me for 2 weeks straight. And that's where accountability comes in. Because a lot of times we may know the technicals of how to do something, but we don't have that sense of urgency. So he put that sense of urgency on me. And in 2 weeks, my first book was finished. That book landed me on Dr. Phil 3 times and changed the course of my life because that was my first stream of passive income. When I started seeing those checks coming in the mail from like 7 different entities, it was like Barnes and Nobles, iTunes, Books a Million at the time, Amazon, and a few more. I was like, oh my God, this is really real. I mean, years went by and I was still getting checks. I still get checks today. That was 17 years ago. So when I said passive income is real, it's real. So once that happened, I got the bug, and I started creating different streams of passive income and it all snowballed. So one thing I would say, sometimes, yeah, you have to tweak things. I remember I was making most of my money on paperback books. And then once the Kindle came out, then the paperback kind of dwindled down. And then I had to get on Kindle. And then that kind of dwindled down, and then I had to create an audiobook. So sometimes you have to modify stuff, and that's where a mentor comes in, and like ongoing help and ongoing accountability. But it definitely changed my whole outlook on life. It changed my whole lifestyle. And not just that book, but just creating different streams. Like it's things I can be doing to make more money, but I want my freedom. So some people will work for money. I'm working for my freedom. Okay. So my time is very important to me. So when I say I created this program and I'm actually showing up live for y'all, don't take it for granted because it's not something I really do. So I really made it my life mission to teach women how to become financially free. And I've read thousands of books, been to so many workshops, conducted so many workshops over the world, took training with the best of them, the best marketers, the best motivational coaches, the best sales and negotiation coaches. So I'm definitely well versed and way more testimonies. I got so many testimonies. All right. So the 3 core problems that most women face when trying to build passive income is one, analysis paralysis. So you're overwhelmed by too many options and don't know which passive income stream is right for you. Or you have execution anxiety. So you've read the books, you watch the videos, but you are stuck in the learning phase. And a lot of women are like that. You give them the solution, you present a way out of their problem, and they know they should take it, but they try to figure out the best time. Well, let me get two more paychecks in because I wanted to go to that concert this week. Or they just have some type of excuse, like they want to wait for the perfect time, but you don't understand it's your mindset that you have to break. Once again, I can give you all of the answers. I can tell you what to do. I can put you in the room, but if you're one of those people who have to wait for the perfect time, then it's no perfect time. That's not how entrepreneurship works, and that's not how opportunities work. So you definitely have to break your mindset of thinking. And a lot of times they say, "What? You can't see the picture when you're in the frame." So you need somebody on the outside to point out um, exactly what your problem is. And for me, what I would say is a lot of people it's the execution anxiety. So starting is the problem. And the third thing is an accountability gap. So you start projects, but you stop because there's no one to answer your questions or keep you inspired to move forward. So that's where the ongoing mentorship happens. Because even if you were somebody who I said, okay, I'll give you a stream or a few streams for you to work on, I'll give you a whole course to watch. I'll give you the checklist to go over. 80% of people still won't complete it because there's nobody really holding them accountable. So my program really has all three of those elements. So what is analysis paralysis? You spent, and yeah, before I even go into these three slides, try to think about which one are you challenged with. It may be one, it may be two, it may be three, because I'm gonna ask you to drop it in the chat. So one, analysis paralysis. So you spend hours researching the best passive income ideas, but you can't decide where to start. You feel paralyzed by too many options, courses, books, or YouTube videos. You worry about picking the wrong path and wasting time and money. You see other women succeeding and wonder why not me. Or you stay stuck in the research mode because you are afraid of making the wrong choice. That's all my perfectionists. So that's problem number one. Or is it problem number two, which you buy courses but never finish them because you don't have the live support? You start projects but stop when challenges come up because there's no one to ask questions. You read self-help books but struggle to apply what you've learned to your specific situation. You attend workshops and conventions that inspire you, but 2 weeks later you're back to where you started, or you feel like you're always learning but never earning. All right, the third one, the accountability gap. You don't have anyone in your circle who understands your goals or thinks like you. You feel judged by family and friends who question why you want more. You worry that people will criticize you if you try and fail again. You lack a mentor who's actually built passive income to guide you through challenges. You feel isolated and alone on your journey towards financial freedom. All right, so drop it in the chat. Are you one, two, or three? All right, I see some ones in the chat. So the beautiful thing of this program, it will help you to unblock all three of those. Let's go. So what is the income trap? So the income trap is you working hard at your 9 to 5, and the more you get promoted, the more money you make, the more responsibilities you take on, resulting in having less time and less freedom. Then on top of that, you research more passive income on your own, and the confusion just overwhelms you, and the cycle continues until you just give up completely. You see, corporate America is designed so beautifully to keep you on that ladder. I remember one of my girls actually breaking down, crying, and she said she felt like she did everything the right way. You know, she went to school, she got the degrees, she climbed up the corporate ladder, and at the end of that ladder was no freedom. At the end of the ladder, they're like, okay, now you just work until you're 65, and then we're gonna give you half of what you couldn't live off of in the in the first place, you know? And she broke down crying. She said, I honestly feel cheated. She said, I wish I knew all of the stuff that I'm learning now, like 20 years ago. But the good news is you can start now. The best time was yesterday. The next best time is now. So you can start now. There are so many different types of income, but most people only know active income, which is working, 9 to 5, but there's passive income too. And it's just so many different types of passive income. But I would say at the end of the day, it's about matching it to your personality because I can give you one stream and tell you, okay, do this. But if it doesn't resonate with you, it's not going to be sustainable. You have earned income, you have profit income, you have interest income, you have capital gains, you have dividend income, you have rental income, and you have royalty income. So, some of my streams, I'm gonna actually get into some of them, is one I mentioned earlier, writing books. So you can have your paperback book, you can have your ebook, you can have your book on Kindle, you can have your audiobook. That's already what, three, four streams in just one sector. Or you can just have a free book and you use it as a lead magnet, if you guys know what that means. You use it just to attract people to give you their email database or give you their email, and then you'll be able to market another thing to them, maybe a course or something later. So you can even make money off a book if it's free, if you know how to properly use a funnel. So, yep, writing books is definitely one of my streams. And you can have commerce, like selling things online. This is a gratitude box that I am launching. And I am so pro environments that help you get to your goal. A lot of times people, oh, no, I'll remember to do it, I'll write it down. But you have to be so strategic about your environment. You have to create your environment with the energy that makes you want to go out and do things with your life. You have to keep your goals in front of you. Sometimes it's the smallest thing like a scent, how a candle relaxes you, or writing your affirmation. So in this box, I personally have like a candle. I have a mug that says I'm so happy and grateful because that keeps me in a positive frame of mind. It has my dry erase marker that says Miracle Maker, where I write down my affirmations every morning. It has a clear sticker that says I am so happy and grateful, where you can put it on your bathroom mirror and then write your affirmations under it daily. So it just have a few things to keep people inspired and to keep them reminded of what they're working towards, and just put them in that receiving mode, that frequency that helps you manifest things quicker. So, yeah, so this is a passive stream. So you can think about what you can sell online, and you can even have a drop shipping company ship the things out for you. So imagine you coming up with your concept. It can be a planner, it can be a candle, it can be a calendar. It can be whatever you want it to be. And there are actual companies out there you can send that whole box of stuff to, and they will actually mail it out to the people who order them. So you can still go on about your day. You can still work your 9 to 5. In the meantime, you can travel, and all you have to do is click a button when those orders come, and your drop shipping company can send it out. So think about that. Another stream is courses. I love digital products. I love things that I don't have to hold physically. People don't have to be in my city to get it. I don't have to ship it because they can just buy it with a click of a button. So courses for sure. So this one is a course I designed called Secret Travel Hacks. So how you can really travel the world even on a 9 to 5 budget. So all of you are experts at something. You lived enough life to be able to teach people something. So I challenge you to start thinking about that. Even if you think you can't get paid on it, there's a way you can get paid. Even if you feel like, oh, but you don't know a lot of people who would need it, trust me, by running ads, your ads will find those exact people. So think about some things that you can actually teach people. So when it comes to designing and all of that, like that's things I can actually coach you on. So digital products, so it doesn't have to be a whole book. It doesn't have to be a whole course. Do you know you can make money off a 2-page PDF? So whatever you're expert at, whatever you figured out, whatever you wished you had figured out earlier, you can put it on a little cheat sheet, a little checklist, a little PDF, and people can download it. It can be $7, it can be $700, depending on what problem you are helping them solve. So don't think you have to have something big and outlandish and that takes a long time to design. This is something, especially with AI, you can design in a day and launch it in a day. So don't sleep on this type of income. This is actually a screenshot from my daughter's TikTok. She got to show me how to work TikTok. I'm more of an Instagram person, but she just, yeah, she's 20 years old now, but she's been on social media a few years, and I'm super proud of her. Once again, it's about legacy. You have to bring your family with you. It's up to them whether or not they pick up what you're putting down, but it's your responsibility to open the door for them. So she said she wanted to start a lash business when she was like 14. I encouraged her to do it. She designed her logo, she built her website, she um, found packaging from overseas. She sourced her products from overseas and she created her ads and put her money behind ads. And this girl was doing it. So this was one of her screenshots from her TikTok store. So you don't have to, be a certain age. It's not about a certain platform, and you'd be surprised who in your circle, maybe a kid, maybe a niece, maybe a nephew, who teach them what I'm teaching you, and you'll be surprised if in 6 months now they're teaching you more because these young ones will run with it. So yeah, you can make money off social media. This is the back end of a screenshot from one of my Airbnb accounts. So some of you have extra rooms in your home or even apartment that can be generating revenue. So you look in the wrong direction. Sometimes you already have the answer right in your pocket. So if you are paying $2,000 a month for a two-bedroom and you have it just as a guest room or right now maybe even a home office and you're like, well, my family comes and visits me twice a year for Thanksgiving and Christmas and I'd like to have the extra space. Listen, family already have their home, okay? This can be generating income. Even if you make $1,000 off of it, 250 a week, imagine that's $12,000 passively if you save it up for a year that you can put in your business. You can put in ads, like you can take a vacation. So we have to get out of our own way. I know sometimes we don't want people in our space or whatever, but it's temporary. It doesn't have to be forever. You have to think about your end goal, write down the end goal. So renting out a room may be just a means to an end, and it doesn't have to be like a daily type situation where people are in and out of your house every other day. You can put parameters on 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 these platforms where you're only renting it out for a week at a time or even a month at a time, and then they have different platforms that are targeted or marketed towards other genres or like for nurses, for flight attendants, things like that. So think about that. If you live near an airport, maybe you can market to flight attendants and pilots. If you live near a hospital, maybe you can market to to nurses or doctors. And a lot of times, yes, in our bylaws and our rental agreement, it says you can't do this, you can't do that. At least if you own a home, you have a little bit more flexibility. But I'll tell you now, like, I'm the type of person who's going to take the risk. Just being real with you, because at the end of the day, most of them give you a warning first, especially if it's coming from an HOA and you own the house. It's like on your first offense, they're not just gonna kick you out the community. So I'm like, y'all need to stop being so scared. Stop being so scared. Once again, it's the mindset shift. If you do everything everybody else is doing, you're gonna get the same results. So yeah, I have a few properties, and what I do is either like I used to rent most of them out, the whole home, to Section 8 tenants, but now Section 8 have programs where they rent per room. So imagine I used to get 2,200 off of one property, but now I can get like 1,400 or 1,000 off each room. Say if that's a four-bedroom now, I can make 4,000 instead of 2,200. So you have to think about one ways you can make money off of your assets. They have the veterans programs where the government will pay you to rent your rooms out to veterans, and they pay even better than Section 8. So think about that. Think about things you already have that you can make money off of. I challenge you to write down all of your expenses, and instead of just paying them every month, ask AI, how can I actually make money off of this? So maybe it's a service you are subscribed to or a subscription you're subscribed to, and they may have an affiliate program where if you refer people to that program, it discounts your actual bill or you actually make money off of it. Maybe it's something you buying on Amazon every month because you love it. And if you created that little digital PDF I showed you and you have your affiliate link in there and you run an ad behind it, then you can actually make money off of it. So I'm here to challenge you to really think differently. So this is Turo. I've had cars on Turo before Turo was Turo. It used to be called something else, you know? But think about that. Maybe you don't have a fleet of cars yet, but maybe you just have one car, or it's two of you in the house and you have two cars. Maybe you can rent one of the cars out and it doesn't have to be a everyday thing. It can be just enough to cover that car note and your insurance. Or maybe you'll be out of town for 2 weeks, so you list it then. But I challenge you all to be creative. So this was a smaller one. It was like a month and it was maybe 600 to people. It's not a lot of money, but if I travel a lot, I'm not driving all my cars, then it's a win-win for me, because that covers the insurance or the note. So you guys already have money in your back pocket. This is a screenshot from one of my one of my books in
I'm
my.
not seeing the slideshow. Is it still playing?
Okay, you can't see it?
I can't. Can anyone else see the slideshow?
What was the last thing you all
Yes,
saw?
I can.
Okay, what do you see?
I just see you.
Your
Okay,
Okay,
sales
let me.
overview.
okay, awesome.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys are able to see. So yeah, this is a screenshot from one of my book accounts, and it shows the 11,000 over 11,000 sold in just this account. So the money is real. I wanted to do this and actually show receipts. I know a lot of people teach and they teach theory and they never done it. And sometimes I'm like, well, maybe I should show more, but it is what it is. And I'm just showing y'all different pieces of different things that I have going on in the background. Okay. What else we have? Stocks. I don't buy stocks all the time. I buy them at certain times. And I've learned this from one of my mentors when we were talking about stocks. And he said that he trades the news. I'm like, what do you mean you trade the news? So basically, he only buys stocks once they go down. I'm like, that's genius. That's genius. Yes, you run the risk of something happening in the news. They spotlight it on the news for that company, and the company actually goes bankrupt. But for the most part, like most of these companies bounce back. Most of these companies bounce back. So I remember all of these stocks right here, I bought them during COVID. So one of the first ones was Norwegian Cruise Lines because that was the first entity or the first business that was in the news where it said that people were stuck out there who had COVID. At that time, the world didn't even know what was going to happen and what COVID was. And that stock plummeted. And I remember what my mentor said. And I remember even reading these books where they said the rich make the most money when it's pandemics, when it's havoc, really, when it's wars, when everybody it don't know what to do, they make the most money. I'm like, how's that possible? And it's possible because once again, it's your mindset. It like if fear rules you, then you'll act like 90% of the world. And if you can be calm, collective, disciplined, and look at things like a matter of fact way, then you'll be able to like profits. So when most people were thinking about just buying toilet tissue and buying Lysol and masks, I was thinking about who creates those. How can I buy stocks in that? And like I said, one of the companies was the cruise ship, so Norwegian Cruise Line. So I bought stocks then, and I bought from a whole lot of companies. And thank God, like I know how to trade. I know a few of you on here also know how to trade because you were part of the trading academy I was a leader in. And when I looked at those graphs, I was like, okay, I saw where it dipped. I saw the history of it, so I have a good idea where it will come back up to. And if you guys know about support and resistance, you know what I'm talking about. So I would say over 90% of the stocks I bought, they profited. And these were like actual, yeah, actual screenshots from that era. And I have the screenshot because I did a short coaching session with one of the ladies who saw a post that I made, which was really this screenshot. And I just put it out there on Instagram and I said, hey, these are the actual stocks I bought. If you want to create a one-on-one if you want to hire me or book me for a one-on-one session, then reach out. And she did. And we hopped on a session and I showed her my exact so share your screen. Can you
Um,
hear me? Yeah, and I
like on
showed
my
her
phone, show it to you or
exactly what I bought. Can you guys hear her? So I think they 50% back to normal. So
Yes, we
it's
can hear the
still
slide.
some money to be made, but not as much as it would be in like the airlines and the cruises because those haven't opened back up yet. Got understand?
yeah, that makes sense.
Cool, cool. And are you on your laptop or your phone?
On my laptop.
Okay, so I want you to go to Google
Okay. Google. All right.
where I can see your screen too. So share your screen.
Um, like on my phone, show it to you or
No, on your screen. So on your laptop, on Zoom, there should be a button that says share screen and maybe green.
oh yes, share screen. There we go.
And then I should be able to see your whatever you're looking at. Okay, so try to open up a page on Google now. I don't see your
Okay.
screen yet.
Actually, let me use Chrome.
Okay.
All right. I'm I'm in Google.
All right, so go back to Zoom, hit that share screen button, and then it's gonna ask you to select what page you actually want to show.
Share. Okay, I think it's this one. Yeah.
All right, cool. I can see now. All right, so just Google stocks that fell the most since Corona. Yeah, so I just wanted to show you guys that I'm a real coach and not everybody has the same issues, not everybody has the same goals, but I narrowed it down like what do I want people to learn? What can I help people with? And though I'm well versed in a lot of things, I feel like most people, if they could create passive income, their life would be so much easier. They'd be able to spend more time with their family. They'd be able to actually give back. They'd be able to do purpose-driven things, you know? So I could have taught a program on anything. I chose to do it on passive income. And just this slide, this is a small sector that a lot of people haven't heard of, but it's peer-to-peer lending where you can actually borrow money from your peers. So there's websites out there where you can get loans from people in the community opposed to having to be able to qualify through a bank. So it's just so many ways to make passive income. And if you're on the opposite side of this, you can loan money out and get an interest back on it. So maybe you have a lump sum saved. Maybe you won the lotto. I don't know. But you want to find ways to make your money work for you. This is one passive way because once again, you have to match these streams to your personality. Some people like, I just want to sit my money there, not look at it, not think about it. Some people may be like, well, I want it linked to something that I'm passionate about. So that's why I wanted a book. That's why I wanted to create a course. Or some people, they don't care what it is, and they have time to do a little maintenance. So it may be something like vending machines or ATMs, and they only have to go once or twice a month to stock up or to add money back into the machine. So my program helps me really to dissect your mind so I can help you create different streams that are right for you. Because once again, it's not like every stream isn't a one size fit all. Even with our trading program, it was some people who got it and some people who were lost even years later. So everything is not the same for everyone. But the good news is the next level mentorship interrupts this cycle by giving you a clear blueprint, live coaching, and accountability so you can build income that works for you. And it's a lot of myths going around, like people think they need to quit their job. I just explained that you guys don't. People need or think they need thousands of dollars up front. I just showed you guys you don't, especially with, two-page digital products. A lot of people feel like they can figure it out on their own watching YouTube videos and courses. I would ask you, how has that been working for you? Like let's not repeat the same thing. So the next level program, it gives you clarity, it gives you an exact blueprint and accountability. So I'm going to help you decide. And I also have like a quiz. Once you sign up, it actually give you a quiz that helps you dissect your mind, your personality, what type of income you want to generate. And some people have more time than money. Some people have more money than time. Some people have both, and some people don't have any right now to give. Okay, but depending on your schedule, your personality, I'll help you narrow down it to a few different passive streams, and you'll be able to hop on live with me once a month and get clarity and accountability. So that's what I just went over. Yep. So that's what I went over. And it's about 2 hours every month. It'll be on the second Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you all aren't able to make it to every session, then it is recorded as well. Once again, it's my first program
Hey,
of this
good
nature, but
morning.
I
My
know it's
name
well
is Coco
needed.
Rochelle, and
It's not a
I just
one-stop
joined the
shop
team
fit
of
all.
Beige in
People
Boston.
have
So I've
different
always been
questions,
interested in
different
trading,
um,
and I
different
joined
goals, and
this
sometimes they
amazing
get
team
stuck at
because
different places. That was just a
follow Beige
testimony
on
from Miss Coco
Instagram,
Rochelle.
and she is amazing. And
So I feel like this is the best solution for you all because the broad umbrella is passive income, but it's still tailored enough that you actually still have access to me. This is Diane. Some of y'all were at our retreat in Orlando. Diane is amazing too. So that's it. Just imagine having this level of clarity when you need it the most. I am here for you all, and um, that's what I wanted to share. I wanted to share some of my story. I want to share the new thing I'm launching, which is the next level mentorship program, and I wanted to actually show you guys some of the actual receipts and the back end streams that I have. And it's just so much more I want to share with you all, but I feel like that quiz will definitely help you. It's like a personality and passive income quiz. And once you guys come on board, you'll have that. So as far as the price, let me get to that slide. Yeah, but I work with so many women all over the world. But as far as the value you're getting, let me tell you what I pay each month just on the business side of things. Like for AI and productivity tools, I pay about $90 a month. For content creating and design, that's another close to 70 a month. On marketing, funnels, and automation, a little over 400. On websites and hosting packages, over 100. Storage and iCloud services, 56. Communications and operations, 73. And finance and admin, about $193 a month. So that's what it takes to even launch this program. Whether or not you join, whether or not anybody joins, that's my overhead just for this program. So it's way over $1,000. That's not what I'm charging you all. But for the people who showed up today, and thanks for your patience, this is what I am going to do for you. One, I'm gonna give you a bonus. I don't know if some of you were on this clarity call. It was about a year ago. So it just shows you how to design your goals in a way where they're manageable and achievable. Because a lot of people, they have goals, but they don't know how to dissect them and chunk them down in a way that forces them to take action. So I created a clarity session. I taught this class about a year ago. It's about a little over an hour. And if you guys come on board today, I will add that as a bonus. And the monthly program, it's a monthly fee, or I would say a monthly investment of only $97 if you guys join today. It's usually $197, but if you join today, then you can save that 100 and you'll get the clarity session. If you wanted to do the annual, you would actually save 2 months. So instead of about 1,200, it'd only be about 970 for the year. And for those of you who sign up for the annual rate, I would also give you the 7 streams of income training that I did. So I break down my 7 streams of income and a lot more. So you saw some screenshots of my back end, but it's a 2-hour course and you guys would be able to get that for free. So you can just start delving in before our first call. So that is what I have for you ladies. So it's a 2-hour call every month. So the first hour I teach, the second hour you'll be able to ask questions from myself or any other experts I may have on board. You'll be able to let me know what you look forward to, any suggestions you have, any streams you want to explore, you can drop it in the chat and I will definitely add that to the list. So that 2-hour live coaching is around a 597 a month value. You'll get personal accountability, that's about a 97 value, and real-time solutions for about $197. If you guys were doing a one-on-one coaching with me, it's 600 for an hour. So I would say this was a happy medium where you don't have to pay an hourly fee, but you still have access to me. So I would say instead of that 891 a month, if you guys can move now, it's 97 bucks. So what would it be, or what would this be worth to you to finally have clarity on which passive income stream is right for you, or to have a coach who's been financially free for over 20 years to answer your questions, or to one day have the possibility to wake up without an alarm and just live life on your terms. When I say it's possible, it's possible. And yes, you may be able to figure it out on your own eventually, but who wants to wait for eventually? So I am going to drop it in the chat, drop the link in the chat. Or Demi, if you are standing by, please drop that link in the chat. And I'm just excited to have you all on board, especially if you got a personal message from me to join this call. And right now, while anybody who is interested is signing up, because the link is in the chat. Let me make sure that, okay, yeah. So that is the correct link. Cool. While the link is in the chat, I want to open up the floor to any questions as well. And if you guys have any problems signing up, let me know. And let me stop sharing my screen in a minute. Does anybody have any questions? You can put it in the chat or you can just unmute. Miss Vern, I see you were on for the first time. I don't know if you're in a position to speak or ask questions, but I definitely would like to hear from you, just your overall thoughts about the presentation today.
Yes, it's interesting. I'm enjoying it, and thank you for allowing me. I did just go to the store, so I'm sorry. I am enjoying it, and I will be reaching out. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. If anybody else has any questions, now would be the time. Any feedback, any advice, any of the other women, now would be the time.
Was
I'm
this
just
recorded?
Yes. Who asked that?
Miss Vern.
That was Vern. Thank you,
Okay,
though.
yes, it was recorded. So I drop your email in the chat and I will make sure you get it.
I'm not gonna lie, when you dropped your price, I was utterly shocked.
I
I
know.
definitely expected it to be way more.
I know, I know. I want it to be affordable. I want to take all the excuses off the table, and I feel like, yeah, it's really affordable. If you guys move now, it's what, $25 a week? Yep, $25 a week. We
Yeah.
spend that on Starbucks. We spend it on Netflix. If you think it's a stretch, just go through your Excel sheet of bills and ask yourself, what's 3 things you're paying $30 a month for, Prime or whatever it may be, and make the sacrifice. Like, make the sacrifice. All right, Miss Fern, I have your email, so I will make sure you get the recording. Does anybody else
Base,
have any questions?
I have a question.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
looking for I'm still outside walking. I'm looking for the link that has all of the annual subscription, but I don't see it.
Okay, yeah. So if you yeah, send me a text or send me a message and I will give you that link
Okay,
because it's a different link. So if anybody else wants
gotcha.
the annual, then just let me know in the chat or send me a text or a message. But I'm excited. Like I prayed long on this and the hardest part was narrowing down what I wanted to teach you all, but like just going through my emails, the most I would say the most popular question I always got was, how do I walk away from a 9 to 5, you know? Or how do I create different streams of income? So I'm super excited to be teaching this. So, if you guys have any other questions before we hop off, let me know.
Yes, that's $100 a month, right?
Yeah, $97 a month, Miss Dana. And the next call will be on April 8th. So April 8th at 7 p.m. And once again, all the trainings will be recorded. But I'm just excited to see let me stop sharing my screen to see what streams you all come up with because the goal I would say is 7, okay? The goal should be 7. Think about all your expenses. Wouldn't it be amazing if you can have one stream for each expense? A lot of times people feel like they have to have millions of dollars to retire. No, just think about how much your expenses are, how much your monthly overhead is, and think about one or few income streams that can offset that. Maybe we narrow it down to 3 different streams. Maybe a course, maybe a book, maybe a digital, maybe a digital product. Maybe, yeah, I need some coffee. So maybe a book, maybe a course, and maybe a digital product may bring in enough to offset your top 3 expenses. So I'm gonna help you dissect it all. And that is it for me. Like I love y'all. And I can't wait to rap with y'all. And yeah, I'm reading the comments that you all enjoyed it and thank you. And you are more than welcome. And let me see. This is what the actual sign up page looks like. And once again, for those who are interested in the annual, I will send you that link. So just send me the message and Mimi, I got you. I love y'all. I'm about to hop off and enjoy your day. I'm gonna enjoy mine. Such beautiful weather out here. Holla.